Open yourselves up, gentlemen, as you are. You're being looked at. Some of you have very deeply rooted belief structures that regrettably have no interfacing with spirituality. And we have so many civilizations on earth that are at each other's throats. That's very, very deep, because it goes back to the beginning of seeding this civilization. I was asked about the Cabal and the Jewish, not that these people are or were, but everyone was. And we go back into this cosmic heart in the area that I would like us to heal, because we need to heal the microcosm before we can become the total macrocosm. And you're looking in this room very comfortably now at a microcosm of existence, and these are two seeding nations that are one, and yet they're at each other's throats. And these are the Huvas, are they not? The tribes of Abraham. And you have the Crescent, the Arab, tribe of Abraham, and you have the Jew of Abraham. And they were both seeded extraterrestrially by the Huvas. So they're the same seeding. And again, if we cannot heal that small part of our globe, the tyranny on earth continues. So briefly look to that. I was asked about the Cabal. It's legitimate. There are abuses in the Cabal, and it's also limiting if you get into the mysticism of Cabal, of the Kabbalist. Because it does not cover up to the absolute source, the sources, the undifferentiated source. But it ushers in the wonderful Metatron with whom we are working. So look at that crescent, please, the Arabs. Look at the Star of David, please, briefly. Look to that area and Christendom and the impossibility of its darkness. And this is not what was taught, it's what it became. For the truth were manipulated in all these regions, and it's in this manipulation that the darkness is so persuasive. It isn't what was taught. If Jesus had not been crucified, what would the world be like? Look to the last 2,000 years of expression on this little planet. So it's a piece of weaponry, a piece of psychological warfare that is manipulated and manipulated and manipulated, so you all feel at one level of yourself or another the guilt. Billions have gone and died for one reason or another, a cause that they thought was worthy. But they weren't called God. No human being can be God. You can all collectively be. But as we look at this area, heal it, please. For the world cannot be whole until you solve the problems with the crescent and the star. Bring in your great energy now, please, and unite these two ancient civilizations that, unbeknownst to themselves, is one and the same. They are both of the tribe of Hova, and they are both Abraham's people, if you want to colloquialize it. Look to this area and see the Christian situation, the martyrs and those that were sainted. Sainthood to deprivation or martyrdom is not the point of earth living. We do not create gods anymore out of martyrdom. It's the living. And we do not postulate ourselves to man. It's the inner I am that we are. Look to this very, very closely. You all have your own pictures, and you've all been of one of these tribes. And in the midst of all this, look at the born again to further confuse the emotional body through fear. It's all predicated on fear, dear ones, all religions, save and except the Buddhists. Keep calm, gentle ones. Breathe in gently. Calm your multi-body system, what is becoming a multi-dimensional matrix. Calm it profoundly. And know that if we can heal this small corner of this globe, we can heal this earth. And much work is being done. Much work. All of you who spent time in this area, you've all had different experiences in this area. But no matter what the experience is recorded for you, release it in love. All of this area, gentlemen, please. And it goes much deeper, for there was greatness in certain times in Egypt, and that greatness fell away. And all of you were in Egypt. Many of you have worked with time for that energy. Very closely. So our family is reuniting, and we are looking and giving love, light, unconditionally to a certain part of the globe, and that must be healed. For these seeding nations can no longer hold themselves as separate, as exclusive. There are no special tribes. There is no dispensation for one that isn't for another. And the irony is that many of the ones who worship these various gods, they're worshipping identical gods, just at slightly different sequential time. So the energy that was Maitreya was Krishna. The collectivization of the 12 plus Mary represents the 12 rays. Always it's a collective energy that comes in to venerate one when you cannot venerate the whole is a false belief. Everything functions with rays, for they are the energy, they are the creation of this cosmic day. Bring in great light, particularly the golden ray, into this area, for that was very prominent in ancient Egypt. Remember your times, go into a vacuum and see the pyramid. See the pyramidal light grid that is this group. See the pyramidal light grid is this group, and you're seeing it in various fashions, whether it's gold, or whether it's hollow, or whether it is solid and crystal. Go within that, within this room. Well, this is one of the most popular and most powerful openings on earth. And will become more and more used as an opening there in Shambhala for your space beings, for they understand this area very well. See the abolishment of the cross, for the cross and martyrdom are no longer part. Earth is sacrificed and had enough pain, it need not to adore pain. We have suffered enough, all and every one. We need not know preferential suffering. The abuse of Queen Theodora, the abuse of Constantine, created a greater imprisonment on earth by rewriting Scripture. So the Christians are very much involved with this area. But what can heal it? The whole area, and bring it back into unity. Into unity, unity is this pyramidal light grid over the whole area, please. Breathe it in, please, gentle ones. The whole area, gentle ones, and see it correct itself. Breathe gently so that there is no aggravation. You see the factions unite. And the unification comes from the great vortice, the great vortex that is there. You can look to the Giza if you wish. For this is part of all of your experience. And unite these areas. You must solve these problems in this finite discipline, or the earth cannot heal. It's a microcosm. It's in miniature, but it's very real. And these civilizations are too complex to comprehend or intellectualize, just to love and release them, for they are of what we call the past. So as you look at reality now, gentle ones, only in the relative now, you see this whole area under a pyramidal grid, and it is healed. It's a very powerful energy coming through the top, through the capstone, through the magnificent crystal on the capstone, please, and heal this whole area calmly, serenely, beautifully, calmly. Breathe it out, everyone. Release what they have not forgiven themselves to release. Release for them. For the emotional turbulence in this area is mammoth. Release for all of creation. Breathe through their turbulence with unconditional love. Unconditional love, gentle ones, for the power is huge under this pyramidal grid. You first, gentle ones. Feel it reverberate throughout this great temple that you have built. That is freeing in its nature. Free it. Yes, gentle one. Release in any way you can for the consciousness of this area. Breathe through their lower will, through the first, second, and third chakra, their emotions. Merge in your mind within this temple. The crescent, the Star of David, and the cross. These had great origins and great powers that is not applicable to a multi-dimensional matrix. Unite them, gentle ones. One civilization against the other, generally for religious beliefs, has not served us at all. At all. We've been sold so many bills of goods to belie our omnipresence, that belie our greater truth, that belie the wholeness of who and what we are. Where these three implements, the crescent, the Star of David, the cross, the sacrificial cross, see them as one circle of light now, please, a completion of mastery, not dislocated belief, that have no particular link to the central column. A circle, gentle one. A circle of completion is brilliant in its whiteness. And allow it to consume the others. Everything becomes one. This is done in unconditional love, no matter what one's beliefs are. It's absolutely essential that we heal this area. And you have visions from your television. So I want to see healed, whether there's a massacre, to heal. Man doesn't own one atom in his body, nor does he own land. He owns his consciousness if he's evolved enough, and his consciousness will suffice. And in that circle, see the light of this area and expand it, please. The circle simply represents completeness, and it relates to the chakra, the heart, as the I am. And through that presence, the unconditional love can prevail, can become, will become. Now. Now, have that radio throughout your collective heart now, please, from there to all levels on earth and all kingdoms. It's wonderful, very good. And in the expansion, call in the tribes that are so convoluted, whether they're in Africa, or in Yugoslavia, or in other countries that are ready to ignite in impoverishment. We address the earth right now and say there need not be impoverishment. There can need only to be a wholeness, a oneness, embodied in love and light, for taking a life never served any man, any woman. It certainly has not served the collective consciousness. It is an experience, and let it go. What was isn't anymore. and over the view of atrocities and going over them and over them and over them does not help anyone. For the German to feel what he felt, for the Jew to feel what they felt, release it. So we have guilty new generations coming along, one with anger and one with remorse that must be healed. This is this collective guilt that we've carried forever on this little continent. Release it. It cannot be carried into the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension where you are going, for it has no place there. It's not recognized as reality. Everything that we have experienced, whether it's with a child, with a husband, with a father, with a mother, with a parish priest, with whomever, or a politician, let us claim our own creativity, our own omnipresence, and confine ourselves to a law much greater than any that we have created on this little planet. And that's the inner I am, the God source, the cosmic heart. Bring in Metatron throughout your body as you sit in this cosmic room, please. And recognize that He is, as the co-creator, your right arm. You, as co-creators, have this marvelous ability to call on these beings who do not have free will. This is a very magnificent being, and he is one, when we align with the Council of 12, you will appreciate, for he has privy of information with this council. And realize that the Council of 12 is not the ultimate Godhood, but it's where we work from, and it is where we were birthed. As individuals, we were birthed at what we call into the ninth dimension. Some of you use 24 and 16, 12. We call it the ninth. And all of you will have what you view it as. But 9 is very comfortable. 9 is very comfortable. It was magnificent what you have done. Breathe out, gentle ones, so that was heavy going. Bring in the thyroid, the parathyroid, into this cosmic room, please, your fifth chakra, and unite it. Release any confusion. Release any confusion, please, now, as we combine the fourth and fifth chakra. And there's much confusion to be looked at. And relate everything that we know and experience now, to that circle of completion. Allow ourselves to be healed, please. Again, the air of surrender is drawing very heavily on you, for you've done a lot of work. Surrender, the last area of surrender is the throat chakra, gentle one. Your hearts are magnificent. Bathe and free the fifth. Surrender to the cosmic heart. Bring it into this light. cleanse and clear it, please. Very good. Very, very good. In the stillness of this room, with the collectivization of the gestalt, the group, the all that is, one's own I am present, look to your great gift and spell out what your intentions are, please. Those changes in consciousness that you wish to make must be individualized from your perspective. They're not New Year's. Shifts. They're your shifts. Above all, we say we live in the now, do we not? We release the horror and devastation that all of us have experienced in a third density. Look at that one very closely, gentle one. All body systems, please work on it, release it. You have so much help here now. Heal these areas, these patterns that have made life so repetitive. So dismal. Combining the throat and the heart, bring in that great white incandescent crystal, please, to help merge. It's very electrical in nature. And because of the mammoth amount of work you've done, co-creation, bring down the first, second, and third chakra into this sinus room now, up the same crystal, please. The vast crystal, we'll call it your channel. You can take the apex right to the beginning of your fireplace within your creative abilities. Let us take the first chakra, second chakra, third chakra, into the thymus, and the fifth. And you see a very clear crystal. It's very, very translucent. Look to see where your resistances are, please. Breathe, gentle ones, just as you accumulate. Please look to what we have been doing, those areas of grief, the areas of collective self that we cannot carry any longer. And others can't either. You've been doing incredible things for most of the earth. So that which you cannot carry, release into the flame. Visualize this and make it very, very real for this clear, powerful crystal. Release it into this flame, into this fireplace, into transformational fire. Please release it. Good. Oh, wonderful. And do this until the smoke is clear, until it is white in hue. The debris, please, I want you to look to your dynamic side. I don't like with the feminine principle of existence here. The right side, ladies, please. For your right side of this crystal is quite dark. The males, look to your dynamic imbalances. The left side of your body as you come up this crystal. And release having been put upon, or not loved, or not supported. Work on this until you see this crystal absolutely clear. This is, yes, please. Very good. So I'm going to ask you, because the feminine principle is so its existence is so new, the male I'd hope we wouldn't have to do this, but take this into the left side of your body, please. The dynamic side. The receptive side, rather. And the females, the dynamic side, the right side. And it isn't like it was before. The dynamics have shifted very, very dramatically. And in this massive crystal, begin to figurate up to and within this cosmic room to combine the misperception of polarity, the new use of androgyny, release the passiveness, release the will that says the male is superior, for it is not true. And realize that these two are divine and equal and absolutely essential from a God's first perspective, where there are no polarities. Figure 8, aqua blue is powerful. Use figure 8 between these two until they meld and become one, please. Good. And where there ever is any shade of discomfort or darkness on either side, please release it. Right up into the throat, gentle one. Surrender. Now remember, when we do this, we didn't release the earth. The earth is still within your cosmic heart. The food is being put upon for the expression throughout this planet has been so imbalanced for so very long that you are feeling it. And Brian is feeling it very strongly. The area that we've called the fifth chakra, please bring in a great ray of healing. For the work that you have done is very momentous, beyond your comprehension. I can assure you of that. Open up the chakras up to the source, please, now. And soothe, cool the shower of water, which is the emotional expression for your earth. A waterfall, let it allow to pour in. This is your 10th ray. Let this be your 10th ray, because it is the ray that does help spiritualize matter. It's pearl in color. It's very dancing. It's very lively. It is extremely incandescent. Allow this to heal where we have been. Let it heal our experience, particularly with the fourth and fifth chakras. Now the third, second, and first, please. It is an endless fountain. You're near Niagara, visualize if you're there. When it's a pearl color, it is the 10th ray. You bathe within the 10th ray, all bodies, yours and earth. In and out, gentle one. Because your pineal gland cannot handle all the pranayama, the radiation that's coming into this planet, look to the back of your heart chakra between the shoulder blades and feel this now, please. There's so much energy coming in there. Let the water penetrate. Let the 10th ray penetrate. And bring you to light, for this is where you first go into light, the back of the heart chakra. You see it dance, gentle ones, it becomes very, very light, very healing. I deserve this. I have earned this. I am one with all that is. And we are only beginning with our creative abilities. There is much to be done. I heal and release all patterns that say I am unworthy. I release the patterns that say I cannot live an abundant life. All those patterns I release. Breathe them out. Let the water take it all away. I release the pattern that says I must suffer. To be worthy of God, I do not have to suffer, and I know this throughout myself now. Suffering was never intended. Breathe that right out. Let it fall away. I know that joy can be mine, and I can live an abundant life on my terms. Energy is energy, gentle ones. If you can live an abundant life, you can live an abundant stream of consciousness. You can live within and become the omnipresent. And that is certainly abundant. God is not poor. So we manifest with clarity now, not with bewilderment. I wonder if I'm worthy. We release those patterns that say, I don't know that I can do it, for you destroyed what you wish to create at that point. What we do, we bring in, and we bring it in very, very solidly, and we know into the cosmic heart. We bring this in, and that becomes our reality. And we allow it to unfold. It doesn't happen as quickly as it does fifth and sixth dimensionally, but it does happen. Within our ability to manifest an omnipresence, a God source, the I Am, that same I Am doesn't stop with God. It does not stop with who you are as the Creator. These are limitations that you may wish to fulfill, to live a more abundant life. You can find more reasons to dissolve abundance. If you're clear in your abundance and what it is you want, the life you wish to lead as light, you need not discuss it with a friend. It's not a soap opera. You bring it in, you discuss it privately with the totality of who you are. You weaken any dialogue with self, with dialogue with anyone, including your closest friends. It does not support everyone. It takes away from your empowerment. Whenever there is a human element that negates another's free will, you have to talk to that soul. You can't say, I love Jim, therefore Jim must love me. You address the soul of Jim. So from day-to-day manifestation, if you have a picture that you wish to convey, to be comfortable, know what it is and not change. But be very careful as you go into the fourth, fifth, sixth sense, particularly the fifth, and more particularly the sixth. As you touch into these areas, they become instant as we can bring in. So know what it is you want. Be very, very clear. No if, whys, or maybe. if it's a job that's not compatible with where you think you are, or what it is you would wish to do, or greater work spiritually, this will come to you very shortly. For there are so few on earth, when this ship called earth begins to powerfully magnify who she is. But in the interim, before you become the facilitators for this new age, many of you feel that you can't work, the energy is not there, then you just manifest very clearly what it is you want. And as we've been bringing in source energy, as we've been bringing in magnification of consciousness for all of creation, as we have been bringing in aspects of self, overwhelmingly so, we can also bring in the reality that you may wish to have. Impoverishment and slavery is what you bought into. It is not what your reality could or should have been. Those souls who have personalities, who you envy because they have done so very, very well. If 1,000 years is a third of a second, they don't resonate in their wealth for very long, do they? Breathe through your third eye, gentle ones. Look at the central sun, a sun. Magnify this through the pineal node. I like to use a ray, whether you can see it or whether you have to create it from the back, from the pineal node forward to open the third eye. This is with both I see, and particularly in the Lemurian period, much of this was shut off for you, and you elected not to use it. Telepathy is something that has been lost. You will gain back. You are gaining it back. And they're all connected to the back of the neck. The pineal node, telepathy is. You will find as the frequencies of light become more and more apparent on this planet, you'll be seeing the archangels. You'll be hearing light and seeing sound. Resonate on that, for all of you have worked with that in the past. Because we've had great difficulty with the fifth chakra today for the world, more so than this group. The timeliness to surrender to an omnipresence. We also ask this area, the sixth chakra, please, so that we be given back what we have always had, and that is an opening an X-ray vision opening that has been our equipment in what we view as the past. It is X-ray, gentle ones. It's not called anything else because our technical language, that would be the closest. You have it. You do not have to be highly evolved to have it. Have it because it has not cause and effect, has not shut it down. See, the great light comes through the back, through the pineal node, expand that pineal node and heal it. Please heal the pineal node, heal the pineal node, and allow all that we view as aggravated assault, all that we have seen, that we wish not to have seen, to be released now, please. Cleanse it, please. Cleanse and heal what you have seen that has been so hurtful. We say unto ourselves, we reject the past as we have known it, for we are going to collectively live in the now. And we release onto the ethers all that was, and agree that we can be what we are, telepathic, and clear with our vision, as is X-ray, for it is an X-ray technique. See the sun go right through to the pineal node. You have an opening there. Many of you have suffered the opening of the third eye in ancient times, and before Lemuria did the same thing. Crude instruments. Feel that, please. The opening of the third eye and telepathy do not mean destruction. We release that pattern irrevocably and forever. We say unto ourselves, we will have telepathy, we will have X-ray vision, for this is our divine right. And all that processing, all those experiences within this density that causes it to shut down, we release now. Now we release all that was, its cause, and the effect. Breathe that out, gentle ones, for it's very heavy with all of you. I know my strongest connection is intuition, that is much greater and more reliable than telepathy or X-ray vision. And that I will become more and more acquainted with as I connect with my correct DNA. For that will be the universe and the monad collectively. I can gain that consciousness, that omnipresence. I recognize my intuitive self now and know that that is the vehicle for transformation. And I will learn day by day by day to trust, because that is the highest and most powerful level of communication one has with one's spiritual knowing, one's spiritual awareness, the I am. The So the greatest of these is intuition. As we work to connect the DNA with the chakras, 12 strands, with the 12 chakras, this opening becomes more and more apparent, and you will become your own teacher, your own healer. You will be able to do that which we were designed to do at this level of consciousness. We will be complete. So if you fail to see with this X-ray vision, you begin to get a sense telepathically of what's going on. It's a gradual process. But I remind you the greatest of these is intuitive. But that is the knowledge that you will be fed through this recoding, is intuitive knowledge, everyone. And it's beginning to happen with all of you. Your shifts in consciousness now become more and more apparent to all of us. More and more are beginning to go into light. Many are light. You all, it's a natural state, it's not a subnormal state to be light. It's very confusing for many of you not to be in past lives totally in light. So this is your experience, this is your choice to work thusly with light. But let's not forget the seventh. I want you to go over these tapes though, because they're so critical for the earth also. These will be teaching tapes. The crown, gentlemen. So let's extend that crystal to the top of the crown. The seventh strand of the DNA connects with the seventh chakra seed. Spin this vortex, this chakra, and open, please. Yes, oh, very good. Now as a group, good. Start to raise the collective consciousness above this crown, and we raise everything with it. The collectivization of who we are, we begin to raise without gravitational pull. Without gravitational pull, gentlemen. You can hear the angelic host if you listen very carefully. You do this. Do not repeat what I'm doing. We are focusing with you. Just concentrate on the disc and the raising above gravity. There will be no forces to deny you ascension. All resistance dissipates. All resolved, unresolved issues become the distant past. We live in the relative now as we connect the seventh strand with the DNA and know that it has been a very long time since we have done that. Lift everything from the base to the top and release all those appendages, all those extraneous fears, anger, and make your channel broader and broader and broader and more golden. Below your feet. Any other resistance, stop and look at it, please. Oh yeah, wonderful. Now remember you're clearing for the central earth as we do this, and that is much more profound than any of you can realize. And you clear for all kingdoms, including the human kingdom, as much as they will allow. Oh yeah. I want it absolutely golden, this channel, please. Look at the outer edge of this chakra, this disc, and see a brush, and the channel will become golden as you brush the sides. Up and down, it becomes wider and wider and wider and wider and more glorious. As you connect with your omnipresence, as you connect with the collective you, very good. Some of you are stumbling at the solar plexus and the emotional body. Clear that as you come up and down, please.
Yes, and joyous visitors make everyone happy. More so than those aspects of yourself that have not recognized they have aspects of distensity. There's been quite a cut-off with your reality. You're magnificent. Bathe in your own light, little ones, for its doors. We're so proud to facilitate the event. The advantages have been huge. Very, very much has happened these last 2 days, so I would really encourage a walk. You're moving much, much more energy than I know you think you are, or at least I believe you think you do. Your beauty is quite wondrous. Now that you're open all the way through, please feel yourself for the violet ray come through the top that you've opened so magnificently. Just for the moment of great being, where part of you will feel it's not there anymore, and your emotional body will say, where am I? No, it's not needed. Purple. Lilac. Maybe like green. Purple is better. Feel where you were. Ready to come back to your body, please. All the facilitators are here to assist you in many aspects of your own self. To applaud you, settle and adore you. Everyone all right? Oh, it's lunch. Oh, God. Really? Get some fresh air. Again, we thank you. It's been wonderful. And we'll see you 3:30? 3:30, all right? Oh, thank you.